wonder what a flying car looks like and how it works? Or are you interested in pursuing a career in STEM but just don't know where to start? Or are you just looking for a meaningful way to spend your holiday? Learn from some of the best in the aviation industry as they share their amazing career and the exciting experiences that they have. Explore with innovators and entrepreneurs as they come up with exciting technologies to revolutionize the field. And hear from educators who bring science to life through experiential learning. Aspire Week is here to inspire you. Join us online from 14th to 20th June. See you soon.
Hello and welcome to Aspire Week, where we explore flying cars, innovation and technology, and careers within the aerospace industry. In this session, we have from Ngee Ann Poly, Mr. Scottz Kok, Assistant Director from the School of Life Sciences and Chemical Technology, and Mr. Kok Wai, Deputy Course Chair for Diploma in Aerospace Engineering. Kok Wai, Scottz, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us on board.
Scottz, you are an innovator and worked on some very interesting projects. Can you share with us briefly what are some of the most interesting innovations you have worked on?
Yeah, I think I have a couple to share later on, but one of the one that is most memorable for me is working with drones and mosquitoes. So what exactly are we going to do with mosquitoes and drones? Okay. I know both flies, but well, I'll share more a little bit on a later segment about why I can put both of them together.
Okay, we won't divulge so much now.
Not now.
And you have a very interesting aerospace program that's being offered at MP. So that will form the second part of the show. So our audience can't wait. I'll hand over to you, Scottz, and once you're done, you'll hand over to Kok Wai, and then we'll wrap up the show with Q&A. Over to you, Scottz.
Thanks, Johnson. So let me show the screen. All right. A very good afternoon to all. Thank you for having me come in this afternoon to share what I've been doing at Ngee Ann Polytechnic. I've been doing this for the last couple of years, about 3 to 4 years right now. And we have developed quite a fair bit of expertise in different areas of unmanned aircraft, or some of you will call it drones. So for simplicity's sake, in this presentation, I will just use the words drones or UA interchangeably, all right? Just to share a bit more about myself, right? I'm Scottz Kok. I'm from the Ngee Ann Polytechnic, but actually I'm from the School of Life Science and Chemical Technology, right? I'm not an engineer by training, okay? And this is where you will be thinking, hey, you know, why are you doing drones and stuff like that, right? I'll share a bit more with you in the later segment. And for those who want to connect up with me after the presentation, you can check out my Instagram, LinkedIn, or you can just drop me an email at scottlib@gmail.com. Now, today we are here to ask this interesting question, right? How will you play a part in this exciting technology, and why you want to be part of the revolution? The keyword here is revolution. Drone is going to be disruptive in the next 10 years to come. And as the year goes on, from 2021 to 2025, you see that the rate of change will take flight very, very rapidly, right? So you want to be part of this revolution as we move along, right? You want to be the first mover, you want to be pioneer, and you want to be the person to get involved right now. So the first question that I want to ask all of you here before I begin is, how exactly do you want to make a difference in the future of work for aviation or aerospace related jobs? How would you want to do that, right? Ask yourself this question. What would you do so differently from what you have done before, or what we have done before? How would you make that different? You may now be 15 years old. You may now be 16 years old. You may be as young as 12 years old right now, right? in the next 5 years, what would you do so differently that will make an impact to the world and of course in the future of work? First of all, you would like to ask this question. What are some of these drone applications around the world and how fast are we progressing? And I just want all of you to start typing on your keyboard right now. If you think that this drone application is around already for the last 5 years, right? Type 1. If you have never seen this application and you think that we have just started, right? Type 2. So could you now type in your chat box and tell me, do you think that we are already in this era, or are we just started yet? Based on what I just mentioned earlier on. So I see Evander Cham say 1. Anybody else? So Evander say 1. Do we have more? So Evander say yes. Giselle says 1 as well. Nice. Thank you for putting up your choice. So yes, we are in this era already, right? And very sure this is a sunrise industry. This is not a sunset industry, right? So what are some of these drone applications around the world that we have seen and is getting maturity? So things like transport logistics, things like military, emergency services, and pandemic-related services, right? You would remember that in China, the emergency services or the pandemic organizers, pandemic recovery organizers were using drones to keep people at home, for example, right? They have loudspeaker installed on the drones, and they reminded people to stay at home and stay away from one another. So that was really a great use of drone technology. Then of course we have spectator sport, right? This has taken the world by storm, and we have very established racing leagues around the world. Later on, I'll share a little bit more about some of these racing leagues. And then, of course, we have agriculture management, right? It has taken root in many countries that produce agriculture-related products, rice, maize, all kinds of agriculture-related products. And they've seen productivity and efficiency increase by 200, 300% as a result of using drones in their farmland. So let's look at some of this drones application. So what exactly are we looking at right now? We're looking at this very premier drone racing league, or DRL, right? You can check out drl.com and watch their channel. So they are in YouTube, and they are actually one of the fastest drone racing leagues around the world. And they are extremely popular, right? It's really cool that you can watch them fly their drones indoor, in an arena that is so beautifully set up, right? I was invited to watch one of their race back in 2019 at the Gardens by the Bay, right? Can you imagine they flew the drone within the flower dome? You can't imagine, right? I mean, I couldn't imagine, it's only when I got there and I realized that, wow, they actually can fly within the flower dome at Gardens by the Bay. It's quite amazing. All right, and if you were there at the scene, you will see all the players sitting down in the driver's seat, right? And right in front of them, they are wearing a goggle and they are working on their remote control, and their drones are just buzzing around within the flower dome at Gardens by the Bay. Very exciting, very interesting, right? So if you aspire to be one of those persons sitting in the driver's seat, go imagine and get your drones flying today, right? And of course, we have Ocean Atlantic, right? I work with them, and they also involved in the identification of cropland in Africa. There's this place called Malawi, right? And they were using drones to identify places that are suitable, right, for growing a certain type of crops, okay, as well as doing reforestation. Now, why exactly is this important? Why is identification of cropland so important in this time and day? Because by 2050, we will have 9.7 billion people by 2050. Now, have you imagined how we are going to feed all these people living on this tiny planet? I think it will be very, very strenuous just to feed every one of us on this planet. And therefore, it is extremely important that we begin this journey of identifying lands that are suitable for growing crops as well as reforestation, right? We need a whole pipeline of renewable crops, renewable energy and renewable materials that we can continue, to sustain our culture on this tiny planet over here. So that's Ocean Atlantic, and they do this identification of cropland, in Africa. And then, so we spoke about some of this application in the world. So let's come down locally in Singapore. So what do you think is happening in Singapore? What exactly is happening in Singapore? So if you think there's many things happening in Singapore, type 1, and you think, there isn't a lot of, application happening in Singapore, type 2. So on your chat box, right, type 1, if you think, right, many drones application is already happening in Singapore, is buzzing. Type 1, if you think there's nothing, Singapore is sleepy, there's no drones happening in Singapore, type 2. Well, thank you, Siva. Thank you for typing 1. We have Harvey, we have Nomi, we have Evanda, we have Giselle typing in. Thank you so much for chiming in. Yes, you're absolutely right. Singapore is a buzz with a lot of drone application. You'll be surprised that in such a small island country like ours, right, we are a regional drone hub, right smack in Asia, okay? So we have a lot of activities happening. So what are some of these applications happening in Singapore? So let's take a look at it. So we have shore to ship mail drop. Can you imagine we ship parcel as heavy as about 2-3 kg. We bring them to the boats and then to the ship, to the tankers, and then we ship them back as well. This could include medical supplies. This could include this could include mail. This could include some tools, And we are shipping to ship and shipping back to shore with drone technology, right? So they are just trying this out. Then we have LTA. LTA is testing a taxi service. They are flying along East Coast, on the outskirts of East Coast, along the sea, right? You won't see them flying inland, but you might catch a glimpse of them flying offshore, right? So they are testing taxi service from Volocopter. I think they started this in 2019. And then we have very recently, PPU launched a waterway surveillance drone, right, on their six reservoir. Very interesting. We also have been using drones for MRT track and tunnel inspections. So I have friends, I have collaborators that are doing this. Very amazing. And some of these inspections are almost autonomous, right? But of course, there's the operator right behind, making sure that the drones are following the route, it is flying according to plan. And then we have drones for construction progress. If you do not know, Singapore has one of the largest demand, for buildings, okay, around the world. And you'd be surprised that we can finish building one block within 2.5 years. That's by far one of the fastest ways of getting our flats, our condos all built up within 2.5 years. This is amazing. And as a result, drones are being used to monitor the construction progress. In fact, every project uses drone for that purpose. And of course, our Singapore Police Force, SPF, use drones for monitoring events, right? And of course, during the pandemic in 2020, they were parts of Singapore in the industrial estate, for example, are very remote, right? So instead of sending a police car over there to patrol the location, what they do is they send a drone up and they monitor some of these very remote locations, such as industrial parks. So in Singapore, you'll be amazed the amount of drones that is happening right now. Even as we speak, as we are attending this, drones activities are actually happening all around us, right? So let's take a look at some example, right? So this is one of the most recent one, it shows over here on Maritime website, that says the Singapore support test offshore to ship drones operations. Very amazing. They bring in parcels, they bring in food, I remember they were trying to bring in pizza as well. Quite amazing. They were delivering, if I'm not wrong, I think Food Panda was also trying this as well to see whether they can deliver food to the ship, on board. Very, very exciting days ahead. And then this is the one that PB launched. This is a collaboration with ST Engineering. It's part of this system called the Drone Net, right? And they are patrolling 6 reservoirs. This include Macritchie as well as the Marina Reservoir, right? Where the Merlion is. Okay, so you might see this drone taking off, running on its own. And what's their purpose, right? You may ask, they are monitoring, for example, growth of algae along the reservoir. And algae is not good for our drinking water in that sense, right? Because we need to clear off the algae before the waters are made drinkable. Okay, so this is one of the applications that we have. So spot them around the reservoir. You may see one of them, catch one of them. Very beautiful, very nice, and to keep the waterways safe from illegal activities, as such as fishing, illegal fishing, and stuff like that. Very exciting days ahead. So we talk about the world, we talk about Singapore, and let's zoom in a little bit on the drone application in MP, Ngee Polytechnic. So what you see over here is the sky view or the bird eye view of Ngee Polytechnic. Very beautiful place. You'll be surprised that close to 40% of the land that we have on the campus are covered with greeneries, right? And sometimes before COVID come, we have public coming in to take evening stroll as well. Very beautiful place. Along Clementi Road, if when COVID goes over, please come and visit us on campus. Very nice place. So what exactly do we do? Okay, so as of now, there are 4 schools. We have more than 4 schools, right? But these 4 schools have shared with us, what exactly they've been working on for drones application. So for example, Design and Environment, School of Design and Environment, right? They learn building inspection, right? So we know that Singapore has been around for we have many buildings in Singapore, and some of these buildings are more than 30 years old, right? 30, 40, 50 years old. And we need to make sure that the buildings are safe, right? The buildings are well maintained, and well restored. So what they do is that they learn how to do building inspection using a drone, right? You do not need to get a crane, put a person up there and then inspect the building. These days, what they do is that they learn building inspection using a drone. And on this drone, it has AI, that allows rapid detection of any building failure or any building problem, right, as the drone scan the building. And then in the School of Film and Media Studies, right, so these are the filmmakers, right? So they use drones for filmmaking, right? So this is the FMS. And then the school that I come from, the School of Life Sciences and Chemical Technology, we have a couple of diploma that dabble in drone application for farming, So this diploma is landscape design and horticulture, right? So they do application of farming and agriculture. They do tree inspection, right? They want to make sure that the tree is healthy, so they bring the drone up and then they inspect the canopy or the greenery of the greens, top of the greenscape of the trees, right? To make sure that, there is no rot, the branches are doing well, okay? Then we have nature conservation as well. We have a diploma that, look at nature conservation. The drone is an excellent tool that they use to spot any pollution at sea or spot any pollution along our waterway. Similarly, very similar to what PUB is doing actually. And of course, in the School of Engineering, they use AI drones for AI, right? Drones that can recognize certain structure that we use in DE. They build a drone themselves, right? They build some of these drones themselves, and they also come out with payload and delivery. All right. So you realize that even at Ngee Poly, we are abuzz with drone application. So very, very amazing, very, very exciting. So when I go to work every day, I am looking forward to all this development in my home ground. Right. So we talk about the world, we talk about Singapore, then we talk about Ngee Poly as a campus. Then some of you over here may be interested in exactly what am I doing in this, in my time at Ngee Polytechnic. So as I shared earlier on, I am not an engineer by training, right? I'm not an engineer by training. I am a life science person, right? My major was in microbiology, right? I work with microbes. I work with virus. I know back in 2003, I worked on the SARS coronavirus as well. I work on animals. I've never touched drone ever in my life until just recently, in about 3 to 4 years ago, when I got my first drone, right? And I start flying there, I find that, wow, there's so much application. So as a result, I have developed some interest, and you can see my interest is far and wide, very, very different. And I just want to share a few, that I'm going to talk to you later on, right? In the next slide. So I want to dabble in entertainment, okay? So this is a project that's done by my student, and we try to synchronize this to music. And this is one of the demo we did for our audience in one of the Poly forum. So I'm going to show you the video right now. So make sure you turn on your speaker right now to hear the music and how the drone synchronized with it. It's a short cut of the entire video that my project student actually took.
Can we pretend that airplane?
right, so I hope you enjoyed that very short video that I just cut from my 2 minutes long video. And you see that this actually on the right hand side is actually my student. Later I'll introduce him in the next couple of slides. So what he did was that this is called a bit of a drone swarm technology. He managed to synchronize all these 4 drones to sort of rock to the music, right? And I was there. There's me right behind in the background. I was really enjoying the process of showing this to the audience in the event. All right. And then what else do I have? In Singapore, we have a lot of airports. We have a lot of restricted airspace. If you go to one map, you realize that the north of Singapore, the east of Singapore, the northern part of Singapore generally, right, you have no place to fly, basically, right? So what if you need to take off? Then you must learn to be able to fly in restricted airspaces, right? And over here, I had a video again taken by my project student when we were trying out this tethered flight. Again, this tethered flight was provided by my partner, Ocean Atlantic, and we had a blast of the day just trying to fly this at Nanyang Poly. This is actually our campus. This is our stadium. You can see our little banner over there right in the background. All right, so let me show you what exactly do we do for tethered flight, and that may get you excited. All right, great. So you see that this drone actually is tethered to the flight control at the bottom. Now, if you want to see more video, right, type 1 for me so that I know that this video get you excited. If you don't want to see more video, then type 2, please. Can we have your finger do some talking right now? Right? Can we have your fingers do the talking right now? So if you want to see more video, type 1. If you think it's okay, I think it's enough already. I don't want to see more video, then type 2. Great, right? Thank you so much. We have Jonathan, Ong, Nomi, Harvey, typing 1. I don't see a 2 on my chat. Thank you so much for chiming in once again. I know that you guys are engaged and excited. So let me show you more video. So, wow, what is this? Okay, so on the left-hand side, you see the larva of mosquitoes, right? These are the one that transmit dengue. I don't like them. I'm sure you don't like them as well, right? So if any of you like having mosquito around in your neighborhood, please type 1. If you don't like them, then type 2, please. Come, show me. Tell me, how's your feel, All right. Okay, so thank you, Harvey. Thank you, Evander, right? 2, I see a lot of people typing 2 on the chat group. Okay, great. We all hate the mosquitoes because they are vectors for disease, right? So what I did was that I came up with, if you look at the bottom right-hand corner, right, there's this little device that my team produced at MP, my student as well as my colleagues, right? And we want to deliver these male mozzies that can crash the wildlife mosquito population, right? So when the male mate with the female mosquito in the wild around your blocks, at your place, now the female can lay the eggs, but the eggs will not hatch. It will not hatch. What does that mean? It means that the life cycles will be disrupted, right? But the question is, how can we do it fast enough? Okay, and that is where the drones come into the picture. The drone basically carry them off, right, and then allow them to parachute out of this device on the right-hand corner, right? And then they will go on to find the female mosquitoes that bite. Male mosquitoes, I emphasize, does not bite, right? But they are one of our allies to find the female, mate with them, and ensure that the eggs doesn't hatch. And as a result, the mosquito population will crash in your area. And the fastest way to do this is to use the drone to do so. So I'm going to show you a video how we can do that. So this is me flying on one of this sunny day, and I was trying to demo how we can drop off some of this mozzie. Again, this is at Nanyang Polytechnic. It doesn't come with music for this case. We took off the music and the sound as well. So just look at this. So just in case you're wondering what exactly is this drone model, this is actually a DJI M210 RTK. Very specific, very accurate, in terms of its delivery ability as well as its location mapping. So you can see that some of these mozzies are being dropped off, or they've been parachuted off the box right in the middle. Okay, you can see that the drones are dropping it off. Okay, it's in slow motion. We even did a slow motion video of how the mosquitoes are parachuting off. Very amazing. All right, so we took this up to about 20 meters off the ground, and we have someone film the entire process of how we drop the mosquitoes. Very exciting. You know, we're doing something called rapid delivery. Okay, of course, you know, Singapore has a lot of building, and then we have this drone, you know, it does autonomous building facade cleaning. So we want a drone that can automatically scan the surface of the building and then do the wash down for our building, right? The building need washing from the bird shit, you know, washing from the algae that grows on the glass facade. All right. And these are my students that did the project together with me. I just want to mention that this was the gentleman over here called Brian. While working on this project with me, he actually received a patent, right? And Nian actually supported the patent application, and we have received a patent on work on transporting mosquitoes or any live biologics within our payload system, right? Very interesting. So at Nian, we do these kind of things, and these are all my students that I work with in the last 3 to 4 years. So they work with small drones, and they work medium drones, and work with big drones. So these are some of the opportunities that I want to share with all of you. You can work in the area of security. If you like to shoot aesthetic videos like weddings, you know, you want to be a film maker, you know, you can have the opportunity. Rapid response, you know, to people in need. You have environmental protection. You can use the drone for environmental protection. You can do coding to make sure they are autonomous, they are smart, and they can do things effectively. And then finally, you know, you can get yourself involved in humanitarian effort using a drone, like delivering vaccine, delivering anti-venom, for example, in very remote places where villagers can come in contact with poisonous snakes, and they need the anti-venom in order to survive the ordeal. So very, very amazing. So you want to see more opportunities and application? If you want, again, please tell me through the chat group. If you want to see more, type 1. If you think it's enough, please type 2. Can we have you decide on that? Anyone? Thank you very much. Okay, I see a lot of one coming in. Thank you very much. We'll see more. Let's have a few more. Right. So again, around the world, Amazon is big on delivery drones. They have successfully been granted license to deliver parcels, right, to the customer. Right. So delivery drones are big. Their payload, in fact, is very similar to what I have for my drones that deliver the mosquitoes. Right. So you have Amazon, you have Flirty, then you have photography drones. You know, companies like SenseFly and Area. You know, MedPros. They are doing a lot of video and photographies. Then we have drones that scan the pipeline, delivering oil and chemicals. So these are the energy drones that spot whether there's any leak or crack, you know, or damage to their pipelines. These are energy drones. Then we have civil engineering drones, which does all the inspection for bridges, building, for example, or to do surveying or mapping. So these are the civil engineering drones. Then we have journalism drones as well. New York Times are using them. Washington Post are using them. And the most important thing is that some of these drones can stream live already. So you can catch the news on the go and catch the news being live streamed. Of course, then we have internet service drone. There are areas in the world where there are no internet connection. And obviously we know Mark Zuckerberg, right? Mark Zuckerberg is the CEO of Facebook, founder and CEO of Facebook. Of course, he wants internet connection in every part of the world. And one of the ways that he's trying to do so is to produce solar drones that can continue to be powered, you know, by the sun's energy, and then serve as a internet service provider in places that are very remote. So we have internet service drones. Then we also have conservation-related drones. Use drones to count, for example, polar bears and birds in certain area, and sometimes to deter poachers. Then of course we have public service drone. These are the humanitarian drones that we can use as well. These are the public service drone. And this is an interesting book that, you know, I encourage you guys to buy if you are into conservation using drones, right? 39.90 pound. All right. And this is farm-wide monitoring. Besides using smart tractors on the right-hand side and using smart sensors in the greenhouse, or part of the farmland, people are beginning to use survey drones to see how well the plants are growing. And then we have weed management. Weed management is a big problem in agriculture farmland, and weeds grow almost 5-6 times faster than your crops. So as a result, you need to constantly seek out where the weeds are growing, and then you use the right amount of herbicide to get rid of the weeds so that your cropland, your crops can take over easily. So these are weed management. Then your question right now to me is, start now. Where do we start, right? FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. I also fear of missing out. So I've been continuously upgrading myself in areas that I'm going to mention right here. So if you want to take a photo of it, please do so. So AI, artificial intelligence, an aircraft piloting skill. You need to know how to pilot the aircraft. You need to know a little bit of regulation and the legal aspect. How do you connect to the drone and make sure it doesn't get disconnected? So you need to know a little bit about wireless connectivity. Together with 5G that's developing right now, very hot. Mechanical skill, how you take apart the drones, put it together, fix it, and make sure that it continues to fly seamlessly. Electronics, filmmaking, some of you I know are big on filmmaking. Please, spend some time to work on this. Conservation, video analytics, right? How does a drone make decision on the fly together with AI and video analytics? Because some of these drones carry a camera. But of course, you have to deal with the privacy. And there is where you have to understand the regulation and the legal perspective when you are using cameras to capture videos, which may be deemed private. Then robotics, Internet of Things. How do you connect the drones to the internet to do live streaming or live sensing of data? Ecology, right? If you're big on conservation, make sure you get yourself involved in ecology, agro technology, farming, greenhouse technology. Architect, you're doing survey of your building, your bridges, mapping. You need to know a little bit of architecture, and of course, coding, programming. And last of all, which I didn't mention in the whole episode of this sharing, is counter drone. How do you prevent the drone from interfering your day-to-day operation? We all know by now that even Singapore Changi Airport has been affected by drones, illegal drones activities. And as a result, it grounded quite a number of our flight on that particular day. So counter drone technology is probably one of the up and coming skills that you might want to develop as you move along. So with this list that I share with you, then there's no more fear of losing out, right? No more fears of missing out, no more FOMO. And this is where you can start. Right, and I want to end with this last slide before I hand over to my colleague, Mr. Kok Wai, right? I want you to take a picture of this, right? And in your free time, all right, I want you to ask yourself this question: how will I make a difference in the future of work in the aviation and aerospace industry? By making up this statement, putting up this statement, right? If you can, send an email to me, share this with me. I would love to have a look at it. So as a global citizen, I want to acquire skill sets such as, for example, AI or machine learning, so that I can learn how to help the drones make decisions on the flies, on the fly, right? To solve problem in the area of security or enforcement in the future, right? So take a picture of this, write an email to me if you can, and we can carry on the conversation from there. So thank you. With that, I end my presentation, and I now hand over to Mr. Ho.
Hello, I'm Mr. Ho. Okay, let me do the screen sharing.
Yep. So Mr. Ho is sharing what they actually do as part of their module in the School of Engineering. Very, very interesting and very, very cool, actually. And of course, with all the COVID situation happening, I think Mr. Ho will share with you how they overcome it and make the learning equally interesting and appealing. So, Kok Wai, over to you.
Yep. Scott, can you see my slides?
Yes, very good.
Thank you very much.
Over to you.
Thank you. Okay, so for today, okay, let me start by introducing myself. I'm Mr. Kok Wai. I'm from Ngee Polytechnic School of Engineering, WT course share for Diploma in Aerospace Engineering. So today I will talk about what will students learn during this COVID-19. Will they be bored with home-based learning? So actually it's no, because we got some things for them to learn during this home-based learning. So during this home-based learning, students can't come to school to learn physically and limited by the distance and so on. So we have created tools to host this lesson online, and it will be virtual lessons for students to learn about immersive learning without coming to Ngee to have face-to-face lesson. And this will be about immersive 360 virtual lesson, which will be in the Aerospace Hub in Ngee Poly. So this project was originated from OLT. OLT stands for Office of Learning Technologies. It's one of our office to deal with technologies to help our teachers to teach our students to learn differently. So OLT spearhead this virtual learning with virtual lessons. And they have this camera over here, which you can see in the center. It's called a Metapod camera. So this Metapod camera is able to scan the whatever location that you want, 360 view, and then stitch it up so that you can view the image. And then this provide students to learn so that don't need to be physical in Ngee Polytechnic in the Aerospace Hub. Beside Ngee, what other companies in the world are using this Metapod camera? So beside Ngee, SIA using this Metapod camera for their Airbus 380 aircraft. So if you don't have a chance to go into this Airbus 380 aircraft, you can visit this Metapod, which you can visit this Metapod kind of visit the tour from the SIA. So this Airbus 380 is a double-deck aircraft which you can tour. No need to come into the aircraft. You can use this image to tour the aircraft inside the A380. So beside SIA, in Australia, so you no need to go to Australia to view this bubble house as well. So you can view this bubble house through this Metapod gallery. So I need you to use your handphone to scan this QR code. By scanning this QR code, you were able to see the OLT, how they present this virtual 360 tour. Okay, so I'll give you a couple of seconds to scan this QR code using your smartphone. Okay. So after you scan the QR code, you were able to see this aircraft in our Aerospace Hub. Another function of this software, you can put your smartphone into the Samsung gear, which is look like this, or a similar type of gear, VR gear. So you just put your handphone inside and you can view this virtually through this left and right. So what you will see, you were able to go inside this Falcon 10 aircraft, which is located in the Aerospace Hub. So you can go inside and view the aircraft yourself. So this aircraft was manufactured in 1980. It's pretty old, but this is an operational aircraft which students have a chance to do some testing on the aircraft because it's operational. And it was purchased from United States in 2017. So when you use this virtual reality, you can go inside the aircraft without coming to Ngee. So students can view this virtual reality, and then students can go to one of these buttons and they're able to view what are these equipment inside the cockpit. So this is a cockpit itself. It's actually very small, very crampy. The left-hand side over here is for the captain. On the right-hand side, okay, On the right-hand side will be the flight officer. So two pilots are flying. Two pilots are flying the aircraft, and at the back will be the cabin. So students were able to view this without coming to the aircraft, and they can see what are the instruments inside the aircraft as well. So beside the cockpit and the cabin, students can go out of the aircraft to view the engine. So the engine is at the back of the aircraft. So beside viewing, beside the knowledge version, students, teachers also can pose questions to the students. For example, like state the name of the component. Then it's a multiple choice question, so students can put their choice, and then subsequently it will tell you the answer. So it's quite interactive, and there are some videos as well when you view the this virtual reality. So beside the aircraft, students also can go into the Airbus 320 simulator. Okay, so this simulator, Airbus 320 simulator, is was donated by this Blue Wave group. It was a company that fly the Airbus 320 simulator for the public. So the public will need to pay about $100 for an half-hour kind of training with a pilot. So initially, it was a kind of establishment to earn money, and subsequently, after a couple of years, the company Blue Wave Group decided to let go this simulator and donated to Ngee Ann Poly. So this simulator was donated to Ngee Ann Poly in 2017 for the students to enhance their study in terms of how the plane flies. So inside the cockpit, that is what you will see through the cockpit itself. There are digital instruments. So this Airbus 320 is different from the Falcon 10, sorry. It's different because this cockpit itself, you can see more digital display compared to the one just now you've seen Falcon 10. So it's more of digital display. This is more advanced. So our students are able to see the digital display compared to the conventional gauges. And then they will appreciate, they will understand better the differences, the application of all these indication, these instruments for the students to learn to fly. But of course, Ngee Ann Poly do not have any flying school. We are an engineering school, so we only teach the technical skills of the flying. Of course, you want to learn how to fly, you can go to the flying school to fly to become a pilot. But of course, when come into this course, you will have the technical background of, like for example, all the cockpits, all the instrument, how the plane flies, how to fly efficiently, effectively, and safely. Okay, so this Airbus 320 is different from the other aircraft because this Airbus 330, there are side sticks, like a control sticks to control the plane to fly up or down, to descend and to land. Okay. So students will know the different instruments, for example, how the planes are flying above the ground, whether any weather radar, whether any engine, whether got any issue, so on and so forth through these instrument panels. Okay, so of course you can see different type of panels give you different type of readings. You can set accordingly so that the plane can fly towards your direction, toward your waypoint, and then you will land. Okay, so next I will talk about what Ngee Ann Polytechnic offer. So in Ngee Ann School of Engineering, we offer this aerospace engineering course, which is the course code is N65. So it's a 3-year diploma course. The uniqueness of this course is student in year 1, they have a chance to choose which track they wanted to go. Okay, so in year 1, they can choose electrical electronic track, or mechanical track. Okay, so when they go for the electronic track, they will go for avionics option, subsequently for year 2 and year 3. And then mechanical track, then they will go to the mechanical option for year 2 and year 3. And then in year 3, there will be a semester for students to go for internship, or even for avionics track option, they will go for their project, final year project as well. So it will be a 6-month internship or a 6-month of a final year project. So let me share with you all about what will be the modules inside the avionics option. So in year 1, basically it will be for all the students to learn about the basic of engineering regarding about avionics. For example, like digital fundamentals, AC circuits, which some of you may already learn during the year in your secondary school. Then in year 2 and year 3, then you will go deeper into the aerospace electronics, for example, like communication systems, the aerospace fundamentals, applied digital electronics, and even the aircraft science, how the plane flies. And then year 3, you will learn more about the aircraft navigate through GPS, through satellite communication to even to land the aircraft. And then you'll learn about electrical instrumentation inside the cockpit as well, and from the cockpit to other instruments. So this will be the avionics option. And the next option will be the mechanical option. So for mechanical option, students will learn more about the mechanical side. For example, how the fluid flows, how the fluid function within the pipes, okay, or within even the fluid within the aircraft, air, and then the materials and manufacturing technology of the mechanical side. And beside mechanical, we also learn about electrical and electronic stuff as well. Okay, so and then in year 2 and year 3, students will learn more about mechanical stuff. For example, the aerospace fundamentals, how the aircraft flies, how it functions, how the flight control, controlled by the pilots, how it reacts. And then the student will learn more about thermofluids, flight thermofluids, strength of materials, which is more to mechanical, and the deeper into the aircraft system. For example, in year 3, they will learn about the aircraft mechanical system, the propulsion system, which will be the engine portion, the engine, how the engine is able to propel the aircraft further into the air. And then students will learn about human factors and aviation legislation in year 3. And then they will do a 6 months of internship in year 3. So beside learning, students were able to go for trips, okay? Trips to go, like for example, like China, you'll go for 5 weeks of China overseas immersion trip. And then students can go to United States, USA, for their study trip, in Australia as well, for their study trip to learn about the aircraft, bigger aircraft like this. And then students can go to Cambodia to teach the student about English, and also to help to build and also to paint for the school as well. So what about internship? What are the companies that students will go? For example, Airbus helicopters to design certain equipment inside the aircraft. Also, Scoot Airlines as well. Helicopters, the Pratt & Whitney, Rolls-Royce, so on and so forth. So these are the companies supporting all the polys for the internship. So that students have 6 months to experience the working life. So that students after graduation, they will think whether they want to join the industry, so that these 6 months will have a very good experience for them to learn regarding the they have learned throughout the 2.5 years, and then how they will learn through what the practitioner in the airline, in the maintenance, repair, organization, how each of these organization function as well. So without further ado, this will be my last slide. If you want to know more about SOE courses, you can scan this QR code. You will learn more about what other courses Leon offer in School of Engineering. There'll be 8 courses, one program. Okay, so you can scan this QR code for more information. Give you a couple of seconds to scan through, to scan this QR code.
That's okay. I think we can leave this on. Maybe
Yep.
I'll just jump in here.
Thank you.
So, Kok Wai and Scottz, thanks very much. There was supposed to be a Q&A session, so I think Scott's already answered some of the Q&A in the function, through the Q&A function. So thanks for that. Let's just allow some time in the audience. If there's any more questions, please put them in the Q&A tool at the bottom row of the screen. And while we're waiting for that, maybe I'll have a couple of questions myself.
Okay.
Maybe this is for Kok Wai.
Yes.
I tried the hanger, the digital hanger tour using the app just now on the Matterport, right?
Yes.
Is the hanger available only for students, or can non-students access?
At this moment, it's only for students. So sorry.
Okay.
Probably I need to highlight that during our open house, Leon Polytechnic open house, public can come into our hangar to visit the aircraft and then to see the simulator as well. And then they can experience the flying as well.
Okay, so when will be the next open house?
Usually it will be in the first 2 weeks of January
Okay.
of the year. So we will publicize the open house probably 2 to 3 days, that kind of open house for everybody to visit.
Okay, in January.
Yeah, in January. Yeah.
Because the app is really good, but nothing beats really touching being there with the place, right?
You
Yeah,
bet,
definitely.
Johnson. Absolutely. You need to be there, touch it, have a go at it.
The feeling is definitely different when you go and touch and feel and fly. Yeah.
But the app is as close as it gets, I think. Really good. I can even see like the fabric of the seat. I think it's a very good investment.
Yes.
Yeah. For Scott's, do you have any questions in the Q&A?
That's one, I think.
How do we use drones for medical duties?
Okay. So medical duties, I'm assuming that you're looking at how drones can participate in the medical industry, right? I know that drones has been used to deliver blood bags between hospitals, right? So in some, in US, right, there are some, in fact, in Singapore, I think they have run a trial in one of the private hospital where they actually use drone to deliver blood bags. So it was a trial. So because sometimes blood banks, right? So there is a public blood bank and there are private blood banks, right? So sometimes the total unit of a specific blood group, right, are in shortfall between one providers and another provider. So you know that we have blood group A, blood group B, and blood group O, as well as blood group AB, right? Blood group is always in hot demand, right? Because you can, if you are a O blood group, you can donate to anybody, right? But but unfortunately for you, you can't. You can only take O, right? The A guys, the A blood group can take O, can take B, O and A as well. But if you are O, you can donate to everybody, but you can't donate. But people cannot donate to you, unfortunately, right? So if one of the blood bank in particular hospitals are low already, the drones can deliver it very fast. But most importantly, think about it. If let's say it's peak hour, and then you need the blood bank fast, right? Because it's life saving. The drone will do a best job actually, because there's no traffic light to go through. There's no waiting time. You fly and you land at the rooftop, and the person is there ready to collect the blood, and then off you go. You can deliver. Yes, correct. And then in remote area, there are cases where people are being bitten by poisonous snake, and you need a particular anti-venom, right? In remote hospitals, they don't have the complete suite of anti-venom, right? So you need the anti-venom to be injected into the person within an hour or so, right? And there's no way you can drive and get out there and then bring back the anti-venom. So your best bet would be the drone that flies directly even to the location where the person was being beaten. So these are the two very common medical related services that drones can participate in actually. Yeah.
I'm sure you both would agree.
Yes.
Drones will definitely be the future.
Yes.
I think with that, I think that will be the last question. And with that, I'd like to thank you both, Scottz and Kok Wai, for being here with us and sharing very interesting experiences and also information. So I'd like to thank you both once again.
Thank you very much for having us.
And to the audience, thank you for staying through with us 3 sessions today. And that was the last session. And tomorrow we will start at 11:30. We have Mr. Yen Lam, General Manager at Traveller Aerospace Singapore. And we'll be exploring some of the technologies that will be critical for the aerospace industry. And what does that mean for students today? I think very relevant still. What are the skills that we need to pick up? What are the skills that we need to pick up? So stay tuned. That will be at 11:30 a.m. tomorrow. And so for those who have not already signed up, on the 1st of July, we have NASA astronaut Jeff Williams, who will be here sharing with us his experience as an astronaut. So let's watch this highlight.
Standing by. Liftoff and liftoff. Jeff Williams, Alexei Yovchin, and Oleg Skropochka launching to the International Space Station.
So for the rest of us who wants to have a look at what life is what life is about in space, join us on the 1st of July. And thank you all for today, for being a great audience. Give us your inputs, and I look forward to seeing you at our next session. Bye-bye.